guy. You're here as the guy who you're here as the guy who talks about Gen Z politics, and for that reason, we got to talk about Gen Z politics.
Oh,
this
boy.
is something that I've seen that I find very even with like the cookie verse.
I'm sorry, no,
or
I'm
clavicular.
not. Is that a TikTok thing?
Like BP edits?
BP is in borderline personality?
No. Black
BP
pill.
oil?
No, black pill edits.
No, I'm not. I can't say I am.
Okay, well, what's going on with your generation, man? They're like they're diving headfirst in the Nazi shit.
Really...
What's happening there? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of shit went crazy on us. I do think the biggest thing was COVID pushing everybody to consume a lot of content that the algorithms deliberately drove us to that was very, very bad. I think that the algorithm, wanted to train young men to watch things that would kind of capture our attention and everything. So, I always say, like, after the major movement of Me Too in 2016, people think it started in 2016, started in like 2007. It was just a black woman, so people didn't notice until it was white women doing it. But when Me Too happened and we were in high school and our understanding of gender relations was very forged by the idea that men need to be held accountable and that the way we approach women is something we need to be careful with and everything, I think that built a very large resentment towards women where we sort of said, okay, well, I've never been anybody. So, if I need to hold myself accountable for the way men treat women, well, like anything that is done for women is done at my expense.
Yeah, racism against men.
And the racism against men. And then like the same thing with race stuff, and this isn't just with white people, but it's certainly especially with white people, is like any movements forwards for certain types of marginalized groups, we've been effectively gaslit into thinking that those movements forwards for them are at our expense. So what's happened is that at a time when a lot of social progression had been relatively successful in at least penetrating the public conversation, a lot of us felt very screwed over and left behind. And we said, you know what? If the room isn't going to be making, if the world isn't going to be making room for us anymore, we need to claim it, take it back, and violently so. And that's a lot of what's going on right now.
Okay, on that note, we're going to look at a BP edit. This is, you asked for it, so.
You find Brian attractive?
Are you asking me? Hey, what's up? I'm Ross, yeah? Nice to meet you.
You've been privy to this? Have you never seen this before?
I've seen edits like that of you.
No, those are like those are fan edits. That's different. This
I know
is
it's not like looks maxing black pill stuff,
yeah.
but like HasanAbi heads do make that shit of you.
I know, but that's different. This is like specifically, this one's called Brutal Pill. Why are you confident you'll find a girlfriend? Because I know that the one I will fall in love with the hardest is wishing upon the same shooting star. You can fool yourself. I promise it will help. They're saying, see, this is one of the guys that they're also hailing as like a super hot guy or something, and I don't understand it. This one confuses me. So is there someone in the chat? Because I'm tapped in now. It's all eugenics. This is all eugenics. It's like genetic predeterminist, where that's Cookie, right? That's the guy that they call Cookie. There's a Cookie verse.
So Cookie is the center of this. Is he like sort of a new, like kind of like
he's one of the guys.
He looks like a Tumblr Andrew Tate. Does that make any sense?
I don't even know what his deal is. I don't get it. I think he's like, I'll have to buy on Ninja. But it's like they really love this one model guy, this guy, who like looks like an alien. But they say like he's the max like genetic Jordan Barrett, where they say he's like the maximum like peak male hotness.
So are we not supposed to be getting big anymore?
No, I think like there's two different types of manosphere people, like the roid heads who want to look like Bradley Martin or just like Chris Bumstead who love bodybuilding. And then there's the other side, which is like, I want to break my jaw with a hammer so I can make it like I can jaw max, like I can make my jaw more pronounced.
Yeah, no. So actually, looks maxing was the first was something Tim and I talked about on the first episode of our show on the Bulwark. We were seeing that there was like gum people were chewing to improve their jawline.
Yeah.
And shit like that. And it was very confusing. Just because I don't want to oversimplify this, and I think there's a lot to say about the perception of male bodies and the way that we blah blah blah. But I do want to say like I think that women that I know who are really hot always go crazy for the most mid dudes. So looks maxing, it's like I feel like the way to pull.
Yeah, what you're doing is the blue pill.
What I'm doing is the blue pill?
Is copium. Like you're not rope maxing, or which is you're not taking the suey pill.
I think most of the women who have been into me, first of all, most of the women who have been into me while we've been together have mentioned that they think that you're so hot. And I'm like, okay, well, guess what?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
okay.
I've had like multiple girlfriends who have been like, Hasan is so hot. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what you want from me then, because I am not delivering the same product that this guy is. But a lot of the girls who have been into me because I'm not like hot enough to not be considered obtainable, right? I'm sort of still, a boy next door type and everything. And I think if I started to look too Chad, my jarring personality would start to me up a little bit. But the looks maxing thing is really strange. And I think the way that it has sort of gotten conservative men excited just speaks to the fact that the isolationism that comes with being conservative actually makes you really self-conscious.
I agree. This is beyond that though. This is beyond like regular male insecurity is one thing. And I feel like this goes beyond that because like Nixon involved in it where they say like, no, you're done. Like you have a predetermined route in life and it is directly associated with your genes and specifically like your skull shape and the way that your face looks. And you can't change it no matter how hard you try. So you must give up. That's what black pilling is. Like black pill is to give up and be nihilistic and then maybe even commit suicide.
You lost the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
You are an inferior man, and the Chads who say that they're Chads but use AI to augment their profile pictures on Twitter and LinkedIn, they're going to get all of your women, and it's just so bullshit. I mean, I've seen you've done at least one Chad Vice stream, and the message always kind of comes back to a lot of the incel type guys are like a couple very small personal care steps away from being mid enough to pull like crazy.
Yeah.
They're just victimizing themselves and acting like
I say every guy's a 7. That's my term for it, where it's like every guy has the capacity to be a 7. You just haven't unlocked your potential.
Get a haircut, only do the facial hair thing if you know you can pull it off, and maybe focus on your hygiene. I know way too many guys who don't always wear deodorant, will go to a date without throwing on some cologne and everything. But the black pill stuff, do you have any more videos like this? Because I'm very curious.
I have a lot. This is all off that same one.
This looks like fucking, do you know MagCon?
MagCon?
It was like Cameron Dallas and those.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just be nice
How every BP edit looks to me.
to each other? Can we stop creating, insecurities that don't really need to be there?
I mean, that is what it is. Like, it's usually just like someone saying like, oh, these guys losers, like stop making these BP edits. And then people just like going mugged and then like doing a compilation of guys that they find to be hot.
What's this one?
I don't know. Let's see.
Jawline is better than having this type of jawline. Now, even though when I scanned my face with AI, it said how to improve my jawline ASAP, but a lot of people can agree that this is pretty normal. Now, there's a small minority of people who think this type of jawline is more attractive, but honestly, I think it comes down to jealousy. Now, if you want to know how to achieve this type of jawline,
It's like there's something I don't mean this as a pejorative, but there's something so gay about all of this.
I mean it as a pejorative. Let it, and I'm on the record saying that. I'm just like,
like this is like because this is not this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but someone else who's not this guy made this edit to be like, look at how hot this guy is, you loser.
For me, it's like, I've spent so much time trying to get to the bottom of like what's going on with masculinity and everything like that and trying to figure it out. But I missed, and I know the looks maxing stuff and trying to look like the Chad meme of the guy who kind of looks like you, the black and white picture of the guy. But I missed the part where it horseshoed back to looking like Twilight fan art. What's
This is
this?
gayer than sucking dick. I mean, this is like objectively just like being in love with another man, which is the essence of homosexuality. Is
No,
it
like
not?
when I was writing gay fanfic on Wattpad in like 2013 about my favorite superheroes, this was the type of boy that I was thinking about. And if this is our
Is
current,
this Superman? Like what? But twink?
there-
Is this
there
a
are-
twink, right?
There are twink superheroes.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't get this shit on TikTok because I trained my TikTok algorithm to only show me hot women. So when I scroll on TikTok, I'm not getting manosphere shit. I'm going, oh my God.
You're doing.
Look at
oh,
her.
you did the. What is it called? It's like hypnosis, sissy hypno. You did the reverse sissy hypno to show sexy women on your TikTok.
What's sissy
Sissy
hypno?
hypno is a type of porn that's supposed to make men gay by watching it.
Hey, I mean, I that was my experience with gay porn. So
Yeah, I think the way that works is it's funny to me because like you don't turn gay, you are gay. You just are coping by watching that to be like, oh, this is like turned me gay, you know? Or no, he says it turns him into women, maybe. Or, yeah, it turns him trans.
oh well, yeah, I can't say I've sissy hypnoed quite yet, but I don't know. I think TikTok's UI is pretty ugly. It's just the algorithm definitely knows my type. But yeah, I guess like I said, we've horseshoed from Chad maxing to like, what would you even call this type of guy? Because this isn't a Chad. This is
I don't know what this is, but they're saying it's a chat. Oh, this is the other guy. They keep showing this guy,
that's just Destiny.
and I don't know. I don't know why they keep showing this guy in the compilations. Cause like, is he supposed to be like one of those guys? Like this is the Cookie King, right? And I don't understand like what his role is in this universe. And nobody explains it to me. People in the chat that know the backstory here, someone needs to explain to me what his role is in this universe of like moggers.
In Horton Hears a Who, the animated movie, Jojo the Who looks exactly like that. It's like a Tim Burton character. Like he looks like Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, they're saying lolcow. Wait, is it like, yeah, this is Jordan Barrett, who again looks like an alien. I don't understand.
You know, he looks like a really shitty AI was told to make another One Direction member.
Like he's attractive. He's an attractive man. Like I understand this, but like I don't know. Like I don't know. Is it too attractive? If that makes sense. Like it just looks weird. Like he looks kind of strange to me. But no disrespect. Like I'm sure he's a great guy. I don't think he knows all this stuff, or maybe he does. I don't know. Chat, does what's his name? Jordan Barrett. Does he know that there's a entire segment of the internet that's like treating him like a god? He's like a meme who made a bunch of memes and posted 100 times a day and made up ugly maxing. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just glad to be seeing edits like this that aren't of IDF soldiers. Have you seen like the odd IDF soldier accounts?
I used to see it a lot more frequently, but I don't anymore.
Maybe they stopped posting. Maybe they all watched Superman.
Yeah. They're too busy. They're too busy doing genocide over there to post sexy edits now. I don't know. I haven't really seen what happened to the IDF sexy girls. There was one that was like always wearing airsoft gear.
My first experience with sexy IDF type stuff was my friends who went on Birthright being like, yeah, at some point during Birthright, they brought in a bunch of IDF soldiers to sort of join us. and I noticed they were all really, really attractive. And I was like, is Hasbara looks maxing?
Well, I mean, Birthright is like that's the purpose of it, right? Is to try to get young American Jews to go and like stay in Israel and become Israeli and get an Israeli wife and hopefully settle in Israel.
I know at least one story of someone who I went to high school with meeting an IDF soldier on Birthright, and they are now married. So that's better. That's better Hasbara than the Nelk Boys.
Let me tell you, I know someone like that too. We had a podcast together.
Oh,
we no longer have a podcast, but it is common, yes. But also on the other side, you have Adam Friedland, who also went on Birthright and did not have a good experience, it seems. Or even Sam Cedar, who said he didn't have a good experience on Birthright. So I guess that's the trajectory. It can go either direction.
I got to say, I'm very glad that I have had so many family members, cousins, immediate family, insist that I go on Birthright, but they weren't doing so because they wanted me to experience the glory of the Holy Land. They were just like, Cameron, it is a free trip to some of the nicest beaches you'll ever see. And I was like, okay, that's a more manageable no for me.
Yeah. There it is. A sisterhood you couldn't understand if you haven't served. And it's just like bots being like, am I cuter? It's just, this account only talks to other bots, it seems. IDF babes. What is this? Maximum looks maxing going on here. This is a BP edit, but for Xi Jinping.
Who among us hasn't gooned to Xi?
Yeah, no, he's hot. He's the Xi Jinping aura pic of him like standing in the room in front of like, I don't know, the finance minister or whatever. It lives in my mind. You know,
can you pull it up?
It's like somewhat of a dark room. I know someone in the chat knows exactly the photo I'm talking about. He's just like standing in front of two other Chinese politicians.
Well,
what is this? No, that's yes, I kept it. I won't share it. Okay, come on. Oh, here, deprogram aura farming.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's a real photo. He looks sick.
I feel like that's what Trump thinks he looks like in a lot of pictures. He thinks that he's sort of stunting on people like that.
Oh, he is not stunting on people. What is this?
If any of you have watched Better Call Saul, this song is extremely emotional.
I don't understand like why people are like, there's something so strange about this because it's not just like talking about how hot like one guy is, but it's also basically putting down like other random guys and saying that like it's not just enough that you're hot, like that this person is hot, but they're like also way hotter than like a guy who's not hot, I guess.
And also like this is so abstract, and this is not, you know, effective gender commentary, but it behooves me to point out that I have seen absolute 12 out of 10s lose their mind over some dude who looks like that. So I think people need to get their priorities in order.
Yeah. I don't understand it. It's weird, but I guess it's, someone says like pro Anna Twitter, but for young boys, I guess
pro Anna Twitter,
like anorexia.
Oh,
like this is like eating disorder TikTok, but for men.
Jesus Christ.
Right? He's British. That's why. This is probably so hot in Birmingham.
This is why I regularly say that almost all of the world's evil can be directly tied to Britain.
I mean, it's true, but they're doing it to themselves at this point. But like,
isn't it?
Half of these dudes are just like normal looking dudes, and then they're being compared to like dudes that are, I guess, like trying very hard to look hot.
Again, I don't want to hyperfixate on this, but like while we're on the subject, I feel like quite recently this guy would have been getting clowned on for being the type of huge pussy that I am, and now like this is the alpha.
Yeah, no, this is like what that's why I think it's like teenage boys that might be gay that are doing this, because it's like a very specific type that they consider to be like peak physical attractiveness. Because like, or maybe, yeah, someone said Korea influence. That makes sense too. Like there's a lot of like K-pop influence where There is definitely like a twink wave now, where we are in the twink timeline now, which sucks for me because like there was a good period of time when being burly was like seen as a good thing, but now we've like totally swung back in this direction, I think.
So somehow, as masculinity is getting aggressively more toxic, somehow being like a big tough guy, I guess, just fell by the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what even is, it's like the only understanding people have of masculinity anymore is just cruelty. Like that's all it is at this point. And it's like, that's why
putting someone down.
That's why movies like
I don't understand, because like I don't think guys like this are the ones who are making the edits. Is usually like dudes who would probably resemble like a closer look to a dude like this. And the reason why they're doing this edit is because they just like don't want to hit the gym and like fix their hair and shit and look like this.
Is that fixed hair, dude? I guess I don't know what's hot anymore.
No, I'm saying that like this dude could just like easily work out, you know, figure out what to do with his hair, all this shit, and then he could be like a happier, healthier person overall. You know what I mean? But instead, they just like turn their effort into, they turn all of their effort into animosity and anger and resentment for what they don't have. Very strange stuff.
It's a lot more focusing on what, and it's not just what we don't have, it's what we feel robbed of, whether that's by the genetic lottery, whether that's by women and minorities. We're always the victims. Being a crybaby is the new version of being tough. It's so weird.
Yeah. Nova is a lol cow. I don't know who that is. Chatters, I have no idea who any of these people are. Okay. The hot ones, I don't know. The ones that are used as like ugly, I don't know. I don't know anything. Don't worry. Some of the kids are all right. What is this?
His name was Nguyen Shin Kung. He was born 75 years ago.
Yeah, this is my wave of Ho Chi Minh aura edits.
You know who was hot when he was younger, and this is not an endorsement of any acts of terror, was the Jackal. You know the Jackal?
No, I thought you were going to say Joseph Stalin. He was hot.
Was Stalin hot?
Yeah. Wait, Stalin was a short king when he was young. The Jackal? I don't know who that is.
You must have heard of the Jackal. He's like, there was a movie about him, Carlos the Jackal. He's got quite the Wikipedia page. That's not a very hot picture of Carlos the Jackal.
Yeah, he doesn't look too hot here.
No, but there's some pictures of him where I'm like, okay. I think he tried to bomb a bunch of people in France. I think while his wife was in prison or something. I don't know, but one hell of a rep, that Jackal.
The movie's called Carlos of Rocks. Okay. Explainer video.
Have you ever heard the
Oh, I thought that was about the Jackal.
There's so much lore here. I don't even know where to start. So this guy, Cookie King, he's really popular on TikTok, especially in the looks maxing community, because he just has unlimited potential. But imagine you see some.
What is that even? Like, everyone has unlimited potential, man. But I think they mean that like he's like this because they just think that he has like the good bone structure or something. Like that's what they're saying. Again, it goes back to like
of this.
It goes back to genetic predetermination. It is genetic predeterminist. So they think like, oh, he has like the good skull to be
He's
super
got
hot.
Those good Sydney Sweeney genes.
Yeah, exactly.
Potential. But imagine you see someone with unlimited potential that you know could be the best looking person to ever walk this earth. But there's just a few things holding them back that they can change, but they refuse to do anything about it. That is basically Cookie King. He's been called things like a Lebanese mother of 73 or comfort zone final boss. Because he just simply refuses to lock in and bring back Prime Cookie. And by the way, Prime Cookie King, he was a force to be reckoned with, and he wasn't even at his max potential. If you see any edits of Cookie King, he's right there in his prime in all of those edits. I'm telling you, if Cookie...
I don't get it. Like, this is a grown-ass man talking about children looking hot. Like, every part of this is strange to me.
Wait, so I forgive me. I'm not too woke on the issue. So Cookie King is supposed to be the hot guy. Like everyone wants to be hot like the Cookie King.
Yeah, I think there's no.
basically
He's
Cookie.
saying like he has prime genetics. He's like he has like
It's
the
looks
best.
maxed. It's looks maxed 2012 Shane Dawson.
This is not wrong.
Prime
But
Cookie.
he,
And by the
they're saying like he could look super hot. He's the chosen one, but he just like gives it up. And
Wait, Prime Cookie,
does not
Prime
do
Cookie
it or
King, he was
something.
a force to be reckoned with, and he wasn't even at his max potential. If you see any edits of Cookie King, he's right there in his prime in all of those edits. I'm telling you, if Cookie King ever decides to lock in, which at this point is looking kind of unlikely, that man could mog any mogger that has ever walked the face of.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like they unironically used this terminology that I think initially was created like it was irony, right?
Yeah, Mog is a funny
Oh,
thing.
mogged you, dude.
Locked in is a funny thing to say when I take my Adderall.
Yeah.
Like,
But now it's like now these guys are saying it unironically. Like there is sincerity to
Yes, sir.
every mog. You're a mogger. You got mogged. It's not satire. I mean, this guy might be like kind of satirical with what he's saying, but like people are not receiving
no,
it.
there's an enthusiasm and a hunger in those eyes. That,
Yeah. I swear Cookie King looked good for 2 days. He looks like my classmate. Noah's normal cadence came back. Ran into Cookie King at 7-Eleven getting 6 chip bags.
And he's so real for that. I get it. I'm with you, Cookie
It
King.
started from them. It comes from AMOG, which means alpha male of the group. Yeah.
Real.
But yeah, this is the type of shit that's like rotting the brains of children online is what I mean. Here's a sadder BP edit. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We're forced to have Filipino genes. So like there is an element of like racial eugenics here involved in this as well. Where like we saw this originally in like the black pill subreddits and things like that, like red pill, black pill subreddits, where people would talk about like how, they're Indian, so they're just like cooked permanently.
I see
they're-
that stuff. It's very
Yeah.
sad, especially since I think there's a type of bullying that we do to Indian people in this country that doesn't get talked about as much, but it's really, really cruel. And, I have to be honest and say that multiple Desi women have made me willing to risk it all. So I'm probably a little biased. But the way that we bully Indians in this country is nuts. And I think it's a form of racism that doesn't get talked about as much as others.
Yeah. I think it's positively Canadian or British of us to do so, to do this kind of thing, and which is even worse than like regular kinds of racism. It's like a exported kind of racism that they have in the UK. What are we, a bunch of British people? What the fuck is going on here? We have our own version. That's what I think. What was this? I turned up. Oh, that was a joke about him speaking on Indian racism? Oh, okay. I thought you were like actually saying his audio was low. There's that element of it too, which is why I even began talking about this thing where this guy, I mean, I guess there's like a couple of them. Like one of them is called Clavicular. And now he's like, he originally, here it is.
Marlon Moggs all of you? Yeah, but he's black.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
Have you seen his parents? They're white.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just really sad.
Wait, is that Connor Sinon next to him? I didn't even realize he was a part of this group here, but yeah, this is like what originally kickstarted this whole thing, where he was like talking about one of these guys, like a phase adjacent guy. His name is Marlon. He's a very attractive dude. And he was reading the chat and someone said like Marlon Moggs all of you, and he said,
All of you? Yeah, but he's black.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
Have you seen his parents? They're white.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just really sad. Well, he does mog.
He Moggs us to oblivion.
Oh shit! I'm like shaking.
yeah. So that was like when people were like, what the like this is racist as hell. To just be like, oh no, a black person can't mog us or whatever.
Yeah, I do see. I don't know where I see a lot of these self-hate racial videos, but they have come up to me somewhere. Again, TikTok just is so one specific thing for me. But I see a lot of these, I am this race, and that's why I'll never be as attractive things. And again, it's the social media algorithms. Like these algorithms are programmed to get people consuming this type of content. And back to the first thing we started talking about, like COVID programmed everybody's brains to just be so addicted to this stuff. And the problem is the people who run these apps, like the whole narrative that tech people are some sort of woke and it's some sort of liberal thing is obviously such bullshit now. They all threw money at Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to tell anybody that. But also they are promoting a form of fascism that just makes people hate themselves.
Yeah. But I think that making people hate themselves is making them more susceptible to making them more open-minded towards like some of the like I said, the eugenicist components of fascism to begin with. Chat, I know there's an active shooter in Manhattan. When have I ever covered a breaking news story about an active shooting? Please, oh my God, stop spamming it. Yes, multiple shot in Manhattan skyscraper, active shooting situation ongoing. Yes. God damn, it's crazy. Sorry.
No, I mean, while we're on the subject of mass shooters, this is the type of content that makes these people.
That's true. There's also definitely something that's happening.
You read their manifestos and they're saying this type of shit about themselves. And I can be certain, and I can say very confidently that the next mass shooters we see, a lot of them are going to have been radicalized by this type of thing that makes them hate themselves. And they feel as though they don't have anything to contribute to the world. So if they contribute a giant act of evil, they have at least made a mark that will make them remembered. The mass shooter from my high school, an individual whose name I don't say, he, in his manifesto videos that he put up before he came in and murdered all those people, 17 people, even more people shot, he said, "You're all going to remember who I am. You're all going to know my name. I'm going to be famous." And I think a lot of young men feel dejected when they see this types of content. They feel like they won't be able to make something of themselves, but they know that it's really easy to buy a gun, and you can definitely put yourself out there by knocking a bunch of people down with assault rifle bullets.
Yeah, well said. So Call of Duty creates killers? No one said that. No, we're talking about like how much the algorithm makes men feel dejected, scared, insecure. That insecurity, they lead down like all these different pipelines and find a sense of purpose, a sense of community in some of the worst places that they possibly can. Some of them come to the HasanAbi broadcasts, okay? And then there are many others who find themselves in like Discords and subreddits and things like that, where they're telling them constantly like, you're nothing, you're worthless, you're shit, you're never going to make something of yourself.
Somebody in chat just talked about femicide, and that's another thing. I mean, that's why the show Adolescence, did you watch that?
I haven't, no.
Nuts.
I heard.
It's that the answer to our obsession with feeling rejected by women is going to be violence, and that violence against women is some sort of revenge for us not being given the attention or the. I mean, there were multiple instances of femicide in some country in South America. I forget which one, but there were a bunch of murders of specifically female content creators in the past couple months, and it's often from stalkers, and I just think that culture is seeing a sharp increase, not any sort of decline.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's also the not immediately as like directionally violent version of this, which is like gender war stuff that you see all over TikTok, even in America. And then you have it become a permanent fixture of politics, like in South Korea as well, where it's just like gender wars and like reverse discrimination against men is a legitimate thing that politicians talk about in regular political discourse. Like, it's not a joke. In South Korea, over the course of the past decade, this went from being something that was like laughed about or whatever to like an actual movement of men demanding more from their politicians about doing more to stop the discrimination against men, and then politicians responding with like legitimate legislative agenda items that talk about like no longer discriminating men, they consider this to be like a hate crime, for example. Like this is an emote to say little
I thought
small penis.
Is this not an Italian thing?
No, like this was used as an emote to imply that someone has a small penis.
This is gabagool?
That is gabagool. This like that is to imply that you're small. And then it turned into like a real thing.
Yeah.
It turned into like it's now considered like a hate crime in South Korea. At least like they were able to get I think it was Riot. They were able to get Valorant or League, one of those things, to just like to ban doing this. Riot Games got this banned.
Yeah, and I'm nervous that there's going to be an overcorrection in American politics with Democratic politicians thinking that the way to reach the men that we so desperately need to reach is going to be overcorrecting and accidentally playing into messaging that is similar to what you're seeing in a country like that. You know, you see that the Democratic Party needs to reach men in a way that they just failed to do, and part of that is going out of, in my opinion, going out of their way to depict what positive masculinity looks like, you know, what it means to be a positive contributor to your community and deriving your strength from what you can offer other people. But, you know, when the Democratic Party needs to make up for some sort of issue with messaging, they just fail and very often play into the bad stuff. And I think there's a lot of places where we need to talk about men. I think we need to talk about men's suicide rates and how it is perpetuated very often by expectations that we place on ourselves that are part of misogyny. I think we need to talk about men being murdered in conversations about Palestine. You see all these conversations about the women and children and how all of these women and children are dying. And, you know, you don't see as many people saying men, women, and children. And that perpetuates this idea that all the men deserve to die, and that every man who dies in Palestine is somebody who is in one way or another deserving of it. So there is a way to talk about men in a way that is inclusive and equitable. It's just so many people get up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well said. I don't know how to fix it though, because I feel like a lot of dudes would rather go down this this pipeline that like hurts their feelings, that like where they permanently find where they just like respond positively to this type of shit.
Jester, because it's seriously out of your politics is jester because it's seriously out of your control what happens, right? Your vote is equivalent to someone who's got the IQ of a dolphin, essentially. Your vote is equal to a literal homeless person who's addicted to fentanyl. Because you spend all this time reading books and watching the news and staying informed, and then you have some literal fentanyl zombie hobble his way into the poll booth because the DNC promised to give him a couple packs of cigarettes for voting for, you know, whoever they put forward in that election cycle. So that's why politics is jester. I could give you the most informed speech of all time on why you should support this particular political
But I won't. He could, but he's not going to do it.
Party. At the end of the day, it's like, who gives a... Because what I say doesn't matter. What you say doesn't matter. You really can't influence things unless you're really
all the politicians are owned by juice. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, is that I haven't even... I get so much anti-Semitism. I didn't
No,
even
there's new metas. Like, I mean, that's like not even a new meta. That's an old meta. But like the new one is they say 271. Or I learned recently there's 110, which is like Jews were kicked out of 110 countries.
Got it.
And then 271K is the claim that the Holocaust only killed 271,000 Jews. Which, by the way, not only is it untrue, but also that number is still a ton of people. Like, that's not even like that. That doesn't even like make it defensible anyway.
It's the same thing when they talk about how people say they don't trust the death count in Gaza. And they're like, no, it's actually just this many people. And then people are supposed to be like, oh, okay, it's just 40,000. My bad.
Yeah. Like, oh, then that's okay. 17,000 children. That's fine. You know?
Well, once we get to 18, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about the juice emoji. Most of the anti-Semites in my DMs are pretty unoriginal. They're doing kind of like early social media anti-Semitism. They're not trying to do any workarounds or anything like that. And the anti-Semites I get are terribly unoriginal. The Zionists who hate me also get pretty unoriginal. I got a DM yesterday.
Yeah, because they're boomers.
I got a DM yesterday where someone was like, at least the IDF soldiers get pussy. And I was like, okay, well,
That's
I
don't think that's true. But
I can't speak to that. I don't know. I feel like you're insinuating that I don't, and that is one of the many things you're wrong about. But I get a lot of weird stuff, and I don't have a lot of creative haters. I feel like some of your haters at least do some subversive things.
well, it's because they're insane and they've just moved beyond like trying to make something work that is like maybe borderline, like close enough to the truth, into just like making shit up. Like nowadays, when you see a hater of mine in the wild, they just sound insane. Like they'll call me like Hamas. They used to say Hamas Piker after October 7 or HasanAbi, but now they say Hamas Diddy Epstein Piker.
Diddy Epstein? Where did that come from?
I don't know. They're just saying that like I'm Jeffrey Epstein and also Diddy.
Epstein and Hamas are a very interesting group to loop together. I feel like they'd have some ideological differences. A lot of people like to use the you're an LGBT plus Jew, Hamas wouldn't like you thing. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all,
They do the reverse of that with me, where they're like, oh, you're supposed to be woke, but you love